What's up, this is GM, and before I start, I want to tell you about TubeBuddy. In case you don't know, TubeBuddy is a free website that will help you manage and grow your YouTube channel. Thanks to them, some of my videos even show up as top results. Want to give them a try? Check the description below for the link.
What is up? Welcome to a new video. Today's product is HIWING's HI300 one-handed mechanical gaming keyboard. It does have blue switches, but I'll go over all that in a bit and show you what they look like, which is of course key. Keep in mind, make a note, whatever you need to. I will be doing a giveaway for this and 2 other keyboards by HIWING. It will be a total of 15 of these keyboards total, so 5 of this, 5 of the other one, and 5 of the other one. And I'll also be giving away 10 mouse pads. The mouse pad you see here, it's extra large. It's actually one of the largest mouse pads that I've personally owned. It's so big you can't even see it all in frame right now. But yeah, that will also be part of the giveaway. Be on the lookout for that giveaway if you are interested in it. But let's get into this review. So like I said, this is the HI300. This is, I believe, the 3rd in their series. The other 2 keyboards that I am reviewing are the HI100 and 200. And so this is their one-handed version. Personally, I am the type of person who uses one-handed keyboards for most things, when it comes to gaming, that is. And so here we have the keyboard. It came with the adapter, which is a USB to USB-C. I'll go over this in a little bit. We also have a manual in English. Manual goes over almost everything. I didn't see, at least in my manual, how to change the lighting modes. There are a couple lighting modes, and of course I will be showing that a little bit later on, how to change them. But let's go into just some general info on this keyboard. So let's start off with the bottom. I love showing the bottom first. As you can see, we have 4 pads. There is no kickstand. Usually you wouldn't have a kickstand on a one-handed, as far as I can tell. I've never had one that has a kickstand. Instead, like I said, it does have 4 pads. Keeps it from slipping around, and in fact, I'm going to show you how sturdy it is. So I'm going to go ahead and move it left and right. My whole table is shaking, not the keyboard itself. It is very strong rubber bottoms, which is of course great, especially when personally I can do a lot of movements in my chair when I'm playing sometimes, so it's good that my keyboard stays in place. So the keycaps are double shot. Under the caps we have nice clicky blue switches, which is always a crowd pleaser. I will take off a keycap a little bit later to show you. It does have 38 keys, which are all conflict free. The keyboard works on Windows, Macs, PS4, Xbox, and even phones, thanks to the USB-C adapter. So I tried it out on my phone. I just went into my notepad, typed it up. There wasn't a huge latency between the typing and what was showing up on my phone. There was like maybe a very slight, very minor lag, which really isn't going to affect you in any way. It could have also just been the application I was using. My phone is pretty old as well, so there's a lot of variables that could have gone into that. But personally, I thought it worked pretty well. Overall, I thought it was great. You're not going to obviously be using a one-handed keyboard to type on your phone anyways. The only reason you'd be really using it is possibly to be playing games on your phone, but I don't even know if you'd really do that with a one-handed keyboard. But I digress. Let's go ahead and finish talking about this. So on the left, we do have an M1 and M2. These are macro recording keys, and we also have a sturdy palm rest. You'll also notice I only mentioned the M1 and M2 because the other 2 are a B and M. So a B and M, they're literally just the letters B and M. It's as if you had the B and M key, but they put on the side. They're kind of like having those extra keys. Let's say that you want to bind them to a certain thing for a certain game. It will be easy to keep track. You'll have those 2 extra ones just down here. So that's always a nice little addition to include. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to do a very quick sound test. And what I'm going to do is first I'm going to do some light touches on the side keys, the main small keys, and then the space bar, which is, from what I can tell, the biggest key on here. And that way you can get an idea of how noisy it is when all you're doing is kind of doing light taps. And then I'll do full presses on some of the keys so you can hear what the blue switches sound like. So let me go ahead and start doing that. I'll start off on the side. So those were the light touches. You might not even be able to hear them. They seem to be very sturdy. They're placed in very well. Now I'm going to go and do full presses on the side keys. So you probably could hear that. They have the nice blue little clicky sound. Personally, I think the click is a little bit less than other blue switches that I've used, but that could just be these 4 switches. Let's continue into the center area. We'll go with these smaller keys. So I'm going to start off with light touches. So you might be thinking, why does this matter? I actually like that. It shows that these keys are really well placed on. They're not loose. And personally, I like that. They didn't make much sound. I don't know if you're going to be even able to hear anything. It was so slight. Let's go ahead and do full presses on the smaller keys. So that definitely sounds a little bit louder than the side keys. So let me do a comparison. I'll do 3 clicks on this and then 3 clicks on these. So yeah, you can kind of hear a difference between those. These definitely feel a little bit more clicky to me. They sound a little bit more clicky, which might be the purpose. You know, these are also not as tall. If I can kind of show you, they're not half, maybe 2/3 the height of these other keys. So, you know, that could explain why their sound is a little bit lighter than the middle keys. So let's do the spacebar this time. Usually the spacebar on most keyboards is not really well placed. It is very loose and makes a lot of sound. So let's see if it's the same for this when I do light touches. So you could probably tell maybe that it is a little bit louder than the other keys. It's still not as loud as most spacebars. That might be because it is a little smaller than most spacebars, because obviously it is half a keyboard. So let's go and do a full press on it. So it is pretty clicky compared to the center ones. Definitely has a slightly different sound to it as well, but overall it definitely is a clicky keyboard. Which, of course, is probably one of the reasons you get a blue switch keyboard. At least I know that's what a lot of people kind of use as their deciding factor when they decide on a gaming keyboard, is how clicky it is. So now I'm going to go ahead and find a tool to take off a keycap and show you what the blue switches look like. Alright, so I went ahead and got my tool to remove one of the keycaps. So I'm going to go ahead and get it around, pull it off. And as you can see, the keycap came off really easily as well, which is always nice. And let's go ahead and pull this a little bit closer. Hopefully I can get that a little bit in focus there. Might be a little hard, but here we have the blue switch, the nice clicky blue switch. Always sounds great. I always love having some blue switches. Let's go ahead and put this back on. And now I'm going to go ahead and show you the different color schemes. I'm going to turn off my light overhead so that way it's a little bit easier to see because I have a lot of light shining on this right now. Alright, so I've went ahead and turned off my overhead light. Before I show you the different lighting effects, I just wanted to go ahead and show you how you'd program the M1 and M2. What you do is you'd hold the FN key and then you'd press M1 or M2. You'll see this is now flashing to indicate that you can now program it. You press whatever keys you want, then press FN again, and you press the M1 or M2 key, whichever one you're programming, and it should be saved. Now let's say that you messed up and you want to delete it all. You hold FN, hold escape for a few seconds, and you may not have noticed, but I did a really quick flash, and that's to indicate that it's been wiped. So now we can redo it, and honestly, you could have done it by just doing FN M1 again and then just typing in the new code, but that's if you just want to wipe everything, make it a little easier on yourself, whatever you want. So let's go into the different color effects that it has. First off, I want you to notice the color scheme that we have currently. So it might be a little hard to tell the exact color of the sides and the top, but they're kind of like a light blue. Then we've got a darker blue on top. We've got an orange under that. Then we got a row of green. We've got like a kind of a row of white. We've got a pinkish, and then we've got purple. So this is important because this is, from what I remember, I think it was each row has only this one color option. It won't actually switch, but I might be wrong. We'll see in a bit. So the way to switch them is to hold FN and then F1 or F2. F1 will control the lights on the keys. F2 will control the lights up here and on the side. So let's go ahead and start by doing function in F1. So here we have the fully lit version. Now we have a breathing mode. Let me go ahead and turn off the caps lock. Okay, so now we have where you press. I don't know how well you can notice, but wherever I press, it's going to pretty much kind of breathe on that one key. So if I was to press multiple keys, you can see they kind of breathe very quickly. And now wherever I click, it's going to light up. And here is an example, as I was saying, where if I press the key on this row, it's all green, just like before. So here we have just a couple more just to show you. Same with the M's and the B and M. So now let's do it once again. Now we've got like a snake pattern going downward, and then if you see, it kind of pushes back up on the side and then does it all over again. And now this one is pretty much like wherever I click, it will burst out in color. Just going to show a couple of those. And now this is kind of like a mixture of breathing and snake. It's going to breathe across as it goes. And now we're back to a fully lit keyboard. So that's all of the different color options. Now let's look at the side ones. So there's only two. The first one is a breathing on the top and the side. And now this one just kind of turns it off. So that's not really a color mode, but it could be an option. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn it back on. I'm going to press one more time so it goes into the breathing mode. And you can see you can actually combine these two. So as you can see, they're both kind of breathing at their own pace. And let's say, for example, I like this one right here, and I don't want any lights on the side at all. I can just turn them off. This one does stay lit up. It's only the side that gets turned off, but I think it gets a little bit dimmer too, mostly because this light right here gets turned off. So let me go and show you. So that light gets a little dim. It's actually turned off, but what's happening is the light behind the word is actually lighting up the bottom just a little bit. But yeah, those are all the lighting effects. I think it is neat that they took in the effort of kind of having split up lighting modes for the sides and the main keys. I think that was very thoughtful of them, and it is a little great addition to have tossed in there. So let's talk about how it works for games. Personally, I used it for 2 games. I usually try it out on 2 games whenever I first get a keyboard. I tried it out on Valorant and I tried it on CSGO. This keyboard I actually also tried out on Paladins. For all 3 games, I thought it worked great. I usually use a one-handed keyboard when playing those 3 games, and I felt it worked just as great as the keyboard I'm currently using, which I've used for years. It's really hard for me to find really good one-handed keyboards that I personally like, and I think this fits the bill. You know, it saves a lot of space if you're traveling, so I can take it with me as well. And, you know, I'm doing a lot of traveling, so it actually does come in handy to have such a small keyboard with me, and I can keep playing my games wherever I go. Latency, didn't notice any. Overall performance, I think, was equal to my performance with any of my other keyboards that I usually play with. So overall, I think this keyboard is great. Alright, that's it for this video. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please give a like and subscribe. You can find the link for this product in the description below. Thank you for watching.